Are you looking for a squatting accessory that doesn't put additional strain on your back? Then it sounds like belt squats are for you. Belt squats are a great assistance movement where you can mimic the squatting motor pattern without adding up the mileage on your lower back and even your upper back, which gives your shoulders a break as well. Belt squatting is a lower body exercise that targets your quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, but you can perform the exercise to emphasize any one of those areas. It involves using the belt or some sort of harness to load weight plates, or sometimes there's cable versions. So I'm going to go over rep schemes, how to perform it, some problems some people might have, especially if they're using my version of the belt squat, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. Make sure it is adjusted for your height. You don't want to tiptoe out. You just want to slightly bend your knees, unrack, and go from there. So once you have the belt and the harness, everything hooked up to the weight, you're going to want to mimic whatever squat pattern you are training. If you want to hit more of your quads, have a narrow stance with more knee travel. If you're trying to hit more of your hips, glutes, hamstrings, have a wider stance and sit back a bit more. Just because there is no barbell on your back does not mean you should let your core go loose. Treat this like you would a normal squat, because then that's going to carry over more to your actual squat. Now, what I like to do sometimes with myself, people I'm training, advice that I give, is to either hold a light kettlebell or a light dumbbell, because this puts a bit more strain on your abdominals, your core, your upper back, which will help you simulate your squat motor pattern. You want to still make sure you're driving through your heels, spreading the floor, all your typical squat cues that you would go through. Your breathing should be the same, your bracing should be the same. Now let's go into the reps and set schemes. What you want to do is treat this as a typical accessory exercise. I'm not a big fan of doing heavy belt squats, and I'm not a big fan of prescribing it either, because most people don't have the equipment necessary to safely belt squat heavy. That being said, anywhere from 8 to 25 reps, maybe 2 to 4 sets, depending on how many reps you're going to do, should be sufficient enough. But let's go into some mistakes. A lot of people stand way too far away from the implement when belt squatting, and I don't know why. The whole point is you want to stand over where your belt is attached to, because you want the pressure to be straight up and down, or just ever so slightly pulling forward. But some people are so far away from the implement that they're basically just leaning back and doing like a standing leg extension, and this doesn't mimic a squat pattern at all. You see this video I'm playing right here. This is how it should look, and this is how most people operate, and I just don't understand why, because that's not even a squat. I feel like some people are doing it this way so the attachment doesn't hit the floor, but simply get some blocks and stand on it and attach it to your squat rack in a way the belt squat attachment will not touch the floor. Easy fix. A belt squat should look like a squat. It shouldn't look like a separate exercise altogether. Start treating it as such.